Vayeshev is the story of our lives. It's the story when God takes a back seat and trust and emunah in Hashem is really put to the forefront of the challenge. Joseph's life is the story of a prisoner who was never a prisoner, a servant who was never a slave. He was betrayed by his brothers and thrown into a pit left to die before they decided to sell him to merchants who sold him one merchant after another as he increased in value, eventually ending up to be sold as a slave to Potiphar, the chamberlain of the butchers for Pharaoh himself in Egypt. There, he works his way up the ranks again, starting at the bottom and rising to the top, where everything was made available to him except for Potiphar's own wife. Eventually, Potiphar's own wife, though, desired Joseph and framed him for rape, and that got Joseph thrown into the pit of the prison, the royal prison of Pharaoh, where again he started all the way back at the bottom of the ranks and once again rose to the top. He was in prison for a long time before finally getting out to work for Pharaoh himself and rising to the position of viceroy over all of Egypt, and a position he held finally in stability and comfort and thrived for 80 years. What was the secret to Joseph's success? Now, there are many answers to this question, but I'm going to propose one tip that has helped me throughout my challenges and my adventures, and that is the 4 pillars of trust: control, comfort, confidence, and safety. Each of these journeys of his travails teaches and addressed one of these pillars of trust in order to make Joseph the leader that God knew he was meant to become. In the pit, safety was challenged. He built trust through safety, although he had no control over his own safety, where there's snakes and scorpions surrounding him in the pit. He maintained an ability and confidence in there that eventually helped him overcome it, and he survived. He saw that he was safer than the physical surroundings would have led him to believe. Then he was thrown into, sold to merchants, where his confidence was completely challenged. How could you have any confidence when you're being sold one slave owner after another, riding to a place that he has no idea? Everything was beyond his control. Can you imagine what that challenge would be like? And how can you maintain trust in anything while you have no control over your next step in the process? Finally, he becomes a slave, where his confidence is completely squashed. He works his way up, he's built it up, and then finally, boom, back to slavery, back to prison. He's starting to feel confident, he starts to comb his hair, curl his hair, and that only arouses the desires of Potiphar's wife's desires, who eventually tries and frames him for rape. Again, his confidence is crushed. His trust now is completely thrown off, and now he's in jail where comfort is non-existent. Imagine the conditions of a prison nowadays. It's not somewhere anyone would want to be, although compared to what it used to be in Egypt, this was a luxury. They didn't have nice beds and good food. I don't know if they have that in prison now, but they definitely didn't have it back then. And this is the royal prison. These are the people who wronged the Pharaoh himself. There were no luxuries in this prison. And Joseph still maintained his ability to trust that things can work out, and he climbed the ranks in each of these situations. There's one reason why, and this is the 5th secret pillar of trust, and this is connection. Connection to a higher power, the knowing that this is going to be okay, that it's happening for a reason, and there's something bigger than myself that's guiding this journey and teaching me something that I need to learn. And that, after experiencing and building those 4 pillars of trust, building his trust in those elements, control, comfort, confidence, and safety, and connection throughout the whole journey, only then is he able to thrive in the position that God destined for him since the beginning. In my own life, I've experienced challenges beyond all of these imaginations. Thank God I've never been in jail or any of these other things. However, the challenges are all according to our own ability to handle them, and they have been very tough. But addressing the certain trust elements that have been weakened and maintaining that connection to God and understanding that this is all for a purpose has helped me overcome each of them and has helped me thrive in my own life, just as Joseph has thrived in his own challenges as well. We don't know where we're going. We never know what the destination is going to look like. But all we can do is maintain our trust in our ability to get there and know that it is all happening for a purpose. And that is my thought on Vayeshev. I hope you are filled with thriving and trust throughout all of your obstacles and challenges. Shabbat Shalom.